Hey buddy, Thomas here. I know it's been a few days since I posted a video, and that's because we were out to sea, doing some testing and trials on a ship. So I'm back in port now, and we're going to go ahead and do what we typically do here on the farm and cut up some wood. I know, again, I am the master at utilizing logs that probably have been burned or should be burned. This log right here is a water oak log. It's just over 8 foot long. I think it's probably in like the 9 foot long range. And it's pretty large, as you can see. It does have some rot and decay on the outside of the wood. But what I intend to make out of this is either 3/4 by 4 or 1 by 4. I haven't figured out yet. Probably 1 by 4 just because it'll be easier. Boards. This will be used as slats on the workshop. So on the workshop, I've also got to put up some videos on this too. I've made a little bit of progress. However, every time I try to record, I'm literally met by a rainstorm and lightning storm. So that has been interesting. I get up on the roof, lightning starts hitting. I get off the roof, and vice versa. So it's just all over the place. What I need to do is I need to finally post. I'll post like the little time lapse of me lifting up that beam up there. And it'll look kind of sketchy. You'll see I have the tractor up against this post right here, kind of holding that up there so it wouldn't move. Now the problem is it prevents it from one direction. When I got up there, I actually had to move the beam closer to where the rest of the rafters are, and therefore I came into a situation where it wanted to pull forward. I was able to work through it. It was a couple seconds. I think it's like only a 6-second long time lapse, but literally that was like 15 minutes of me scratching my head like, all right, how can I do this without making that top portion come down? And then also, once I finally got it up there, I realized, oh crap, the top or the front post there is too high. It was too high by 2 inches. So I got up there with the chainsaw. Neighbor came over. I said, hey, make sure I don't kill myself. Kind of watch me on this. Took the chainsaw, cut that 2-inch gap off the bottom, or that piece off the bottom, hit it out with the hammer, lowered it down. It actually worked out pretty well. Now that is not going to be the final orientation. I understand, some basic physics and everything, but that 6x6 on top of the other 6x6, the amount of load that would be experienced on that opening would be too much. So I'm actually gonna have braces that come down and everything to help distribute that load down into those columns there on the side. The reason I don't have it up there yet is because I haven't cut the wood yet. I might be getting some of those pieces out of this, and I have to figure out how I'm gonna do it. I'll probably start off with some 1x boards and then come back and actually put some 6x6s that I'll kind of seed into there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start working on cutting the slats for the top of these rafters and everything. And then maybe I might be able to run to the hardware store today being Saturday, and go get some metal. But I don't know. It all depends. I need 14-foot long metal, and that will give me enough overhang on the sides. And I left my sides at varying lengths and everything because I'm going to go back later once I get everything marked, and I'll cut it with the chainsaw. I know it's not the cleanest cut, but it works for me. So back over to this log here. Oh, and also I'll have to talk about these at some point. These are some table legs and pieces and parts for a black walnut table. And yes, those are all 3x4 or 3x5 black walnut pieces of varying lengths to get some framework for a table. It's going to be a massive table that this guy's building, so pretty interesting. But back onto this water oak log, the goal is to get as many 1x4 boards as I can. So I'll be going for maximum cant size. If I can get a 16x16 cant, that'd be perfect, because each cut that I would be doing with the sawmill would be 4 boards, and 4 times it'd be 6. It'd be a lot of boards. I'll make sure I don't screw myself up. So 16 by 4, 16 times 4 is how many boards I should get out of that. But we'll see. Now there's gonna be some loss if I do a 16 by 16. Anyways, I'll maximize. It'll be a 16 by something. I need that 16-inch dimension. Then I'll slice it down into the 4 inches, and then whatever my maximum height is that I can get, I'll go ahead and do that with the computer. So whatever the maximum height is and number of cuts times 4 will be the number of boards. So it may be 16 times 4, or it may be some greater number than 16 if I can get a little more height out of there. So yeah, saw's running great. I also have gone through today and cleaned out around the sawmill sawdust, stuff like that. After I changed the oil the other day, I spilt all that oil, so I had to clean up where sawdust is collecting on residual oil. Fun. So stay tuned, here we go. Okay, so we have ourselves here a situation. There is something in there. You can see how the blade height rose and everything. It's got to be metal or something. If I can show you here. Focus. So you can see on those teeth right there, whatever I hit, it curled back a couple teeth here. And the face of this teeth, these are not looking good. Really good example right there. So I've hit something. It was unusual. I saw the blade move up, and then I figured, okay, I'm very close to the end of the log. I'm close to the end of the life of this blade since I was going so slow. I was just gonna, power through it. It would not power through it. Sorry, trying to get the focusing done here. It would not power through this log. I mean, whatever I hit there, it's got to be big, and it was unusual. It didn't break the blade or anything. It just kept on just sitting there. So what I did is I moved the blade back just a few inches. As you can see, I was right to there. So that'll give me enough room. I can use a chainsaw to cut through to here, and then it'll give me some idea what's in there. In fact, I'm probably just going to go ahead and cut all the way through. I'll just forego the last 2 feet or so of this log. I think I'll have enough based on how many boards I'm going to get, but I have to figure out what the heck this is, and I got to leave myself enough room. So I'll probably bring the chainsaw somewhere in this region right here, in hopes that whatever I hit was somewhere over here. So yeah, here we go. Okay, the game plan is I'm going to cut through with the chainsaw. I'm really hoping I don't hit anything with the chainsaw blade. I'm not exactly sure what I hit. I hit something hard and it's acting funky. So I've moved the blade back a little bit. Let's see if I can move back a little bit more. This blade is beyond dull right now, so I can actually handle it without gloves. But it's really weird. You never know what you're going to find on the inside of a log. And see, right now what the problem is, I'm getting all the sawdust built up behind the blade, so I really just can't move it. I can kind of angle it, but that's all sheer because I'm impacting all the sawdust into there. It's really fine sawdust, and it's even finer because I was cutting so slow because my blade was getting dull. So I don't know if this blade is going to be salvageable, but I'll have my buddy Mr. Robert take a look at it. We'll look it over real well. But I'm getting a lot of metal fragments off of here, a lot of peel back. I'm just not sure where in here it was, so I'm just going to cut right here. And this section should fall down without hitting anything important. Or I'll just put a piece across so that won't be an issue. Alright, so I'm going to put a scrap piece of black walnut across. That may or may not hold it, we'll see. Thought I was through. Let me see if I can move it from the back edge. Having that blade there is not really helpful. Nope. It wants to move, but ever so slightly it's still connected. Don't know where. It looks like it's on the far end. Come on. There we go. Oh yeah, there's a huge hunk of metal in here. I don't even know what this is. Man, that slab is heavy. I don't know, folks. I barely grazed it. It's looking like a metal spike. Oh, look at that mumbo jumbo right there. That's a big hunk of metal. And you can see, I mean, the blade rose up over that, but after it went through there, you see it rose up. It really put some pressure on there. And then, yeah, she was dull, and she just wouldn't go anymore. So I don't know what that is. I got enough here to, again, get some slats. Bear with me if I can turn this over. See if we got anything on this side. Yep, I split it in half, whatever the heck it was. It's pretty impressive. So, I mean, you're talking over an inch and about a half inch, sorry, over an inch and about a half inch wide, whatever the heck this is. And it's right in the center of the tree. I mean, this is the pith right here. I mean, we are talking, now it's in the outside 6 inches of the log, but I don't know, folks, that's kind of weird. We'll have to cut away this section and see what we can do. So I'll bring the chainsaw back up here. We'll cut down here, and then these two slabs will just be kind of shorter. But I mean, there's still good wood to be used in there. And again, you never know. I don't know if I guess a metal detector would have picked that up, but holy crap, that's a big one. Now I just got to figure out how far back does that go, because I do not want to hit that with the chainsaw. So I'll probably be safe and come in about right here. That should be enough. But right now, next thing, once I cut this, I need to get in the pool with the kids. So, yeah, better yet, I'll just get in the pool with the kids now, and we'll come back to this and kind of figure out the game plan. Always something. And hey, regardless of that though, I mean, look at the grain on this stuff. This is gonna be pretty. I don't care what they say, you know, water oak, maybe it's a trash tree or whatever, but I do enjoy using it from time to time. I think this is gonna be beautiful. But yeah, here we go. Okay, so back out here, got a little swim time with the kids. It was good. Got some lunch. As hot as can be, but feeling pretty good after that nice little swim. Mr. Robert also stopped by. He looked at this, and he did look at the blade, and he says that he thinks he can save the blade. So I'm going to go ahead and make this cut right now and get this section cut off, and we'll go from there. Hopefully I got the camera in a good enough location. So what I'm going to do is I don't really know which way this thing's going. It's on both sides of the log. I'm actually going to cut back, like I said, back a few inches over here. I think if I stay out of the black, I should be good. I won't know until we open her up. And I've got a pretty nice chain on here, but we'll see how nice it stays after this. I'm clear, whatever's there. I'm going all the way through. All right. So I'm clear. Again, it's about right here. I don't know what it is. It's big. It could, I don't know. Here's a neighbor out there doing some heavy machinery. Let's check up with him, see if he got a tree down. Oh, and the other day I did go out and pick up some cherry logs. I was pulling them out with the side-by-side and the four-wheeler, so I have some nice cherry to cut up here soon. But once I get this other section cut out, we'll go ahead and put these back on the mill. I'll put that new blade on there, and we'll get to cutting. So we've removed the first section of the log that had this metal chunk in there. Now I'll go ahead and remove the second section. I know I've got to be a few inches back from that to clear whatever it is. It's kind of at a weird angle, but I just don't know what it is. It's funky. It's big. It's in there deep. I didn't hit it on any previous cuts, so I don't know. Again, whenever you start seeing bluing like this in a cut, odds are there's a hunk of metal in there. Ow. So again, you may not have to be right on it, but even like right here, this is, you know, a couple inches away. If you see bluing in your wood, you know, stand by. There's something rather large, and it's only what, about 4 inches away from the pith, so it was in there. Now we're going to go ahead and speak correctly. I'm going to go ahead and get that new saw blade on there. We'll get to cutting again, making these 1x4 slats for the roof of the shop. Here we go. All right, so I'm only going to do 2 at a time because both my slabs are of different lengths. So I figured it'd be better you know, for shooting purposes and everything else. But I'll go ahead and do these two on here. Kind of fly through this pretty quick. I just got a new blade on there. Just checked level. Everything seems to be good. So we'll see how this cuts. I'm going to set to the 1-inch scale and roll through it. Here we go. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with all the rest of the cuts, but she's cutting nice and smooth. And I've got to take a pause real quick because I have a customer that just rolled up here. So stay tuned, and the rest of this I'll throw onto a hyperlapse, and you'll see how many total we get out of this. I think it's going to be pretty good number. Okay, so that went pretty well. And again, these are the pieces that had the hunk of metal in here. And as you can see, I lost about 2 foot of section on the log there. But it actually turned out to be a pretty nice base to put my tripod on, so it worked out, I guess. Saw's running great. Made a lot more sawdust over there, but that's a-okay. And I'll talk about these later. That's some black walnut stuff that I'm working on for a customer, for a table that he's working on. And as usual, we of course have a fire going. Always have a fire going around the sawmill. I haven't got a count yet of the boards that I did, but there was quite a few. Quite a few. Now some of these are short. I'd say they're probably 5.5 foot or so, which is fine. These are all 1x4s, and these are all the 1x4s by, I don't know, 8 foot or so. So yeah, there's quite a few of them here, and they've got a lot of sawdust on them, which is fine. I'll get up there later and knock them off while I'm putting them up there. But those will be my slats on top of the rafters there. And the reason I'm doing oak is because it was a log I had sitting around, and I wanted something stout because I'm going to get up on top of that roof. Typically I would use a ladder to do the screwing in of the nails and everything, or the screws, excuse me. That's not really possible on this one based on how high it is. So I will be getting up on top there. My spacing is about 24 inches with it being doubled up here in the center. And yeah, I think it's coming along pretty well. I've got all of my 1.5 by 6s cut, with the exception of, I believe, 1 or 2, but I have some underneath the mill that I need to pare down into a different size. So that should be good. Overall, I'm pretty happy the way this is turning out. It's just slow. Of course, as I stated in the beginning of the video, I think I was going to go to the hardware store today. Well, that did not happen. A lot of things, something always pops up on the farm, and I had a lot of folks over today, which is great. And I enjoy, and you know me, if you listen to my videos, you know that I like to talk. But I'm very, very happy with this wood turned out. Pretty stuff. Although I don't think you're really ever going to see it because we're going to be doing some spray foam up on the top for insulation. So this will all be covered up, which is fine. I'm not too worried about it. But I'm just looking through the pile. Look at this metal layer raised. That's some quarter sawn pieces over there. There will be a good amount of these that will be quarter sawn. But yeah, stay tuned. There's much more to come, and maybe at the end of this I'll throw that video of me putting this beam up. I think that's about the only place it would work. But this front beam here, which again is water oak, whenever I put that up, I had to do it myself. And I had the neighbor come over earlier, but we were just talking about this. This is the section, the 2-inch section that I cut out where it joins on top of that 6x6. And again, that 6x6 that joins on top of this 6x6, I will have bracing that will come down before I start putting these rafters up. That will transfer the load down to these columns. I just haven't done it yet. I just want to get it up there and see if it looks appealing to the eye, and it does. And we need to get going from there. Stay tuned. Thanks.